Hello and welcome back to the podcast. So today's guest we have got Emma from KCM. Hiya Emma, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Good
How are
stuff.
you?
Yeah, not too bad, and it's been a rare opportunity where we've had some decent weather for a change in Rotherham.
It has, it's lovely.
It is lovely out there. So do you want to just dive into your role down at KCM and what led to that position and a little bit of a background about yourself?
Yeah, so it's a family business. So my official role is finance director, but because it's a family business, it means I do everything, everything there is to do. I'm involved. Obviously, I deal with finances at company, in outgoings and incomings at money, and making sure everything happens how it should. But I also do day to day. I'll answer phone and book skips in if that's needed. I organise lorries' work schedules, get everything out for delivery. Um, some I can. We have to do everything and everything when you
When you're a
like
family
I say,
business, yes, you definitely
yeah,
have to muck in and do everything.
that's it. And because it's grown over last 5-10 years, it's grown so much.
Yeah.
It's gone from where it were just us. It were about, I think there were three of us in office, and now I don't even know how many there is in office, but there's a lot more than three.
There's a lot more than three now.
Mm.
So yeah, you've moved that nicely into what would your typical day look like within the business?
Oh, um, no day is the same, because every day comes with a new problem, new challenge, which always comes back to me or one of my cousins or my brothers to sort out somewhere along the line. Um, so a typical day would be first is just checking what work we've got on, making sure everybody's got the work scheduled. And then, like I say, it can go anywhere from there. It all depends how day goes, what challenges arise. Um, anything from I also I'm whammy tab holder. So, if EA decide to surprise us and have a visit, then everything has to
Right.
stop. We have to change what we're doing because we have to take their visit and deal with whatever they want to speak to us about, and that can just happen off cuff, just totally surprise you.
Right. Okay.
Or there could be, I could have got meetings all day with bank and accountant and
Yep.
things like that. So it
Quite
can be,
varied then.
or I can just be sat behind a desk all day, just giving lorries the work because
Right. Okay.
someone will be off in office. So then I'll jump in that role. So you never,
Never the
it's good
same.
because you're not bored. It's never the same thing. It's not repetitive.
Good stuff. So for those that might not know, then, because I don't, if you've been living under a rock, could you explain what sort of services KCM offer across obviously Rotherham and South Yorkshire?
Yep. So we do everything from your wheelie bin outside of hairdressers for whatever, right up to like muck away on building sites when and everything in between. Any kind of waste that any business produces, we can take it, or we can find a way to take it. We don't do hazardous as such, but we do have contacts. So, but anything non-hazardous, we can take it and deal with it.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah.
Um, so obviously KCM is quite renowned in the area. Yeah, it's impressive how much it has grown. Can you, how long have you been there, and what sort of changes have you seen since obviously you've been there, and how it's developed over the years?
Yeah, well, obviously, I've known KCM from being a kid when my dad and my uncle and my granddad first started. Um, I mean, back then, my nan used to be babysitting, and she had phone on wall, and she'd be taking skip orders like this with phone while she was cooking us as dinner because we'd all
Right,
be at my nan's babysitting, and she used to just write jobs on bits of paper, and it was my dad and my uncle out delivering skips when we were
right.
kids. And then it steadily grown. And then when I left school, I didn't come straight to KCM. I were only one out of all the 7 grandchildren.
Okay.
And I were only girl in family. So I went to be a barber. I were a barber for a few years. And then when I had my daughter, I decided I didn't want to go back to barbers full time. I was like, right, I'm coming to KCM, and everyone at first like, oh no, don't be daft. You stay where you are, yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm coming, and I'm gonna do this and gonna do that, and because I'm bossy one in family, because I'm a girl, I'm only girl. So
So
yeah,
they
so
got you in the end.
that's it. And then I came here 3 days a week, and then it just and then I've ended up here full time. It takes over your life. So yeah.
So
Um,
what's been like the biggest operate? Because I know you're in with the operation side of stuff as well.
mhm.
What's your biggest operation challenges in like waste recovery and recycling today?
There's constant operational challenges because we have constant daily operation challenges because we will you can never gauge what customer's going to put in the skip. So you'll go to collect a skip. You'll have got a job lined up for that skip. After you'll get there, customer will put something in it that's hazardous and we can't take, or they'll have
Yeah.
overloaded skip, but there'll be nobody there. So then you have to completely change everything that you've got lined up after it.
Hmm.
So that's just one of challenges. Um, and then there's because waste, it's not just the same product every time. It's not.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to be in a skip. You never know how much, or how easy that's going to be to separate, recycle, and things like that. So you never know what you're going to get till it gets back here and tipped out on the floor, if you like. So it's difficult
Mm.
sometimes to plan ahead. You sort of have to wait until the
Until
moment.
it arrives. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to each job is just one at a time. It's not like delivering pens or something where you can just set it up that many's going out that day. There you go.
Yeah.
Do
You could
one
have
drop
10
at a
jobs
time.
lined up, and then the first job will
Yeah,
come up with an issue
yeah,
that puts the other 9 out of sync.
yeah. That's exactly it. Yeah.
So when that arises, then obviously when the waste arrives, and you're expecting it to have just say rubble in it or just
Mhm.
timber, what's the process of then obviously emptying the skip out and then sorting it out into different areas if there is mixture? What does that
Yeah.
look
So
like?
so it gets back here, and we've got lots of waste operatives that work on yard. So they sort it by hand. So it gets tipped out. They'll take the any big objects. They'll just remove it. Gets removed by hand
Hmm.
if it's mixed. And then it goes onto another pile where we have grab drivers, machine drivers. They'll then load it onto another machine that turns it, and any small like particulate will fall through there. Then
Okay.
it feeds through then onto a picking belt where we have um, a manned picking belt. I think there's about 11 on that, and
Right.
they
Okay.
each pick off a different product. So you'll have like plastic, rubble, wood, metal, and
Hmm.
then well, no, rubble's left on, and then that'll fall off end itself. But everything else is taken off
Taken away.
on there. Yeah.
So it's quite
So
a man-powered operation then, rather than just relying just solely on machines.
it is, and that's why waste is getting so expensive. It's not. It's
Not
because
easy
they
to
introduce
systemize.
no, they introduced landfill tax. See, this is why I think we were in right place at the right time because when we first started, there wasn't as much need there weren't as much emphasis on sustainability and
Hmm.
and all this net
Recycling.
zero and everything else. And then as governments have introduced new legislation constantly, we've evolved to help customers meet the needs. That they've like their responsibilities. Basically, everybody has now a responsibility to know exactly where that waste's gone. So when we've
Yeah.
taken it, we have to give people an end destination for everything that were in the skip.
Hmm.
So we use technology to record everything. So we'll record where all his rubble's gone, all his soil's gone, all his wood's gone, everything that gets separated, it's recorded so that we can work back and give people a percentage,
Yeah. So
of,
there's a paper trail so they can help work
yeah,
out. Yeah.
that's it. So gone at days where you could just put your rubbish and just get rid and you didn't care where it went. So
Yeah.
they introduced landfill tax, so that put price landfill up. So everybody started recycling.
Yeah.
But then wages have gone through roof. So price of diesel's gone through roof. So price of sorting waste, sorry, has gone crazy as well.
Yeah.
So it's not it's
Yeah, it's a
it's not a
difficult thing
cheap thing anymore.
to systemize when you because it's a very manual intensive operation to be able to sort all that out. And I suppose you can't just rely on
Mm-hmm.
a system or a machine to pick
No.
out certain bits. I know you can obviously metals quite easy with the magnets and stuff, but
Yeah.
um,
But
yeah,
price of that machinery is not cheap either.
yes, yes, I can
Mm.
imagine. But yeah, identifying a piece of foil or a piece of a plastic bottle, it's
Mm-hmm.
very easy for a person to identify where that goes rather than relying on a machine that
Yeah.
possibly could get that wrong if it scanned it or however they do it.
Yeah.
It could quite easily yeah, misidentify a product and put it in the wrong
Yeah.
pile, and then obviously there's other issues there if
Yeah.
it's gone to
Yeah.
the wrong place. So
Yeah.
obviously sustainability then is quite obviously a big focus. So have you got obviously regulations and new legislation and stuff comes in, and you touched on it
Yeah.
prior that you obviously you get these spot checks and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how does that normally turn? Do they just randomly turn up to make sure that you're doing what you should be doing, or
Yeah, we constantly get it. We constantly get audited from obviously our off takers. So where we
yeah?
send our wood to, for instance, or where we send, because we also make a product, anything that can't be recycled, then that gets shredded and that becomes an RDF that feeds the power stations.
All right, okay.
So they have to then audit us to make sure, so that they can see actually what is going in to their fuel.
Hmm.
So we're constantly audited by his off takers to make sure that we are only sending them what we say
What
we're
you should be
sending, and
sending? Yeah,
things have to be tested. Yeah, and then we have EA that like to come and inspect because there's lots of regulation on how waste is stored, because of fire risk, and
yeah,
it's a very dangerous industry. Machinery, everything else. It can if you're not um, if you're not careful and if you're not strict with what you do,
yeah,
it can cause a lot of damage.
yeah,
And also, if the product that you're sending out isn't really what you say it is, it could cause a lot of contamination and things like that in places. So that's why everything that you send out is constantly tested to make sure it meets
yeah. It should be what it
specification
should be.
of
Yeah,
whatever they require
yeah.
wherever you're sending it to.
So I've learned something there. Then I didn't realize that like the end product that's not
Yeah,
non-recyclable stuff it all gets made into a new material that can be then sent off
yeah,
to help
yeah. So that's
help
what goes
power
to
that.
be your order. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just like shredded waste, really. It just looks like fluff. Yeah, yeah.
right.
So then
And then they
that
use
goes
that
to
to
feed
help.
your power station. So it is reused. It's
Yeah, I suppose so. It's yeah,
yeah. So
everything
that
that you
feeds your
can't
power
recycle,
stations and
obviously,
creates energy.
other than hazardous stuff, it still has a use and it's sustainable because
Yeah,
there's always going to be that product.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, yeah. It's still reused. So there's sort of virtually nothing going to landfill.
Brilliant. So, are there
So
any sort of educational and like community projects that KCM get involved with? Because I know you're quite renowned for
loads.
sponsoring, and you literally you
Yeah,
can't drive around Rotherham and not see. your logo somewhere. So how did
Yeah,
how did that come
yeah.
about? And what was the
I
spark
think
of the
because we're a small family business, yeah, we struggle to say no. So, and because it's so easy
right?
to get an answer, it's not like asking a big company for something where it has to go through 14 different departments to get
Yeah,
signed off. It's like we'll just be in office. Oh, Emma, someone's doing a charity clear out or something. They've asked us for a skip. Can we do? Yeah.
right.
Somebody who
Okay.
works for us, I don't know, the sons might be in a football team. Will you sponsor it? Oh yeah. Do you know, we don't like to say no very often. In fact, this year's probably been the first year we have started trying to say no because I'm like, we're getting it's running away with itself how much we actually put into charities
Yeah.
and things like that, but and sponsorships. But we're big believers in giving back because Rotherham is we're all from Rotherham, we're all local, and yeah, we like to put as much back into community as we
As you
possibly
can.
can.
Which is nice to see. And
So
like I said, I know you can't say
that's
yes
where
to
it comes from in
everything.
the first place.
And I know what you mean. It
Mm.
is
Yeah,
difficult
which
because you always
we
want to
have done for a lot of years.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it. That's it. If it's something that we can, even if we can just help by raising awareness or doing creating a fundraising event, we'll put everything into it and
yeah.
try as best to make it happen.
No, which is really nice to see because there's a lot of companies that I
Yeah,
suppose they grow and grow and grow and they forget their roots and the community element of it. And with it being a family-run business, I
yeah,
think you never lose that,
hmm,
which is nice to see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah, and my dad and my uncle, they're massive Rotherham United supporters themselves. So that's the connection with
Of the
club.
football. Yeah,
They just love Rotherham United. They've been lifelong fans, so they're like
brilliant. So when
that's
they
their
got
labour of
the
love. Really,
opportunity to
it's
do
not
that,
nothing
then
to do with.
that was never going to be a no, was it?
Yeah, no, that way. Yeah, that's it.
I think we've covered that one with how we do. As a woman, then in like a senior leadership role, um, how has that come about? With I know it's a little bit easier with a family-run business, I suppose. There's not that much stigma because you're part of the family. Has that ever become an issue within
Well,
the
I don't know.
workforce or not?
Well, yeah, I'm.
Or have you always been quite at the top of the chain and I'm like you say the bossy one within the
No,
family? Does everybody listen to you or
um, yeah, we argue a lot, but I think that that's just a brother sister thing. We've argued. We argue in a sport. It's same as we did when we were 10 and 9
right?
and 10. But yeah, with family it's easy. When I was young, I don't think I've ever really had a problem. To be honest, I think it's easier for women to be sort of straight with men than it is woman to woman. Find
Right,
it
okay.
easier, you know, if I've got an issue and I yeah, I think it's accepted. Yeah, I prefer that actually. Sometimes if I've got I don't know if I've got staff issues with female staff, I have to think about way I'm going to say something.
Right,
I
okay.
have to sort of be careful what I say, a lot more than what I do with a man,
You
if you
can be
like,
a bit
which you
more
might
straight to the
find
point.
strange, but
Yeah, no, I get it because I've seen it in different
yes, I
a
can be
lot of
straight to the point
industries.
and I can,
So I think there's a bit of a lag in there.
yeah, I find it easier. Yeah, yeah. But I find it much easier to be more to the point with women. I have had it when I was young, when I very first started, and I'd got a particular driver that had not been filling his defect reports in, and obviously I'm not a driver. I'd come from barber's shop then. I didn't really
Yeah,
know, and I didn't, but it was for his own safety, his own, that he got to check his lorry, and we've got a legal responsibility to make sure we get these defect reports every day, to prove that we're making him check his lorry, sort of thing, and he'd not been doing it. And he was like, "Listen, love, let me tell you, and he were
Yeah,
sort of
I've done this
patronizing
for
and said,
years.
"Listen, love, you little, don't you tell me how to do my job." But that's yeah, yeah. But that has been the only time I can really say that I've had that. Do you
Well,
know?
that's quite
I don't
refreshing
really
then.
notice. I don't think being a woman makes any difference.
No, well, which that is quite
Yeah,
refreshing
yeah. I
because I
don't
think
think it does.
across different industries, I know there's them challenges for male and females, and it's nice to see that you don't get that very often.
Yeah,
And the stereotypical,
yeah. I
why are
don't.
you telling me what to do, etc.,
Yeah,
doesn't happen as much these days, which is brilliant.
yeah,
So I suppose that's part of the culture and stuff that
yeah.
you
I
guys
don't
have built
think
down
it
there.
does. Yeah, yeah, I don't think it does. I don't think it makes a difference. Like I said, whether you're a man or a woman, it's just people react where they react here. I don't think. No,
Good.
I don't think it's an issue at all, to be honest.
So, anybody that was thinking about coming into the industry, what would your advice be as to a young person if they're thinking about getting into the waste industry? Is there any top tips, or is there any apprenticeship schemes and stuff that you guys do, or is there any inside information that you could share to what would they expect?
Not really. I don't really know. It depends. There's a lot of different route. It's like in the industry, but what part of it would you want to go into? There's all sorts. I mean, you can, like, we have HR manager, we have account people in accounts. There's all different. There's like such as me having to do compliance. Understanding waste and understanding recycling side of things. There's lots to it, to be honest.
There's a lot of
Drivers,
moving parts and different departments
operatives.
that could get involved in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of different departments that you could do within industry.
Yeah.
Um, but I wouldn't really. I don't know. You've got to be prepared for change. Legislation changes continuously. They
hmm
move goalposts continuously,
Yeah,
and
I think
it's
that's
hard to
the same
keep
in
up.
every industry. I think the government's always moving the
Well,
targets,
yeah,
aren't they? Yeah, and I suppose that with all the net
yeah,
zero
definitely.
stuff and the eco part of everything, which is obviously that's massive
Hmm.
now. Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
the hoops you guys have to jump through are a lot tighter than possibly other industries,
yeah,
and it's quite
definitely.
regulated.
And yeah, it's very highly regulated, and yeah, and like I said, that's why it's becoming expensive because of regulation that's put on it. But the forcing that, the
Yeah,
government
there's
don't
everything
leave
comes with a
any
cost.
option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is what it is, unfortunately.
So looking forward, then obviously you've been there a number of years now, and you've seen the company grow and grow and grow. What's on the horizon for KCM over the next 1 to 2 years? What's the plan to grow it further, or are you happy where you are now, or what's that
Oh,
forecast?
yeah, no, we always wanting to grow. We've just took us as Sheffield Yard. We've got that open
Right, okay.
last year, so that's growing nicely now. But yeah, we're always looking for opportunities. There's always things on horizon that we're looking at and trying to grow and make happen. Yeah, yeah, we've got a lot
Anything
more. We've got a lot further to go yet. We're not where we want to be.
anything in particular that you're striding for that you would you like a department in every area of South Yorkshire, or are you trying to stay Rotherham based as much as possible?
Oh no, yeah, I'd like to take over the world. I don't see why we can't be all through UK. Yeah,
Oh
we're,
yeah,
we're
to
just
become a
growing as
national company.
Crosshire at minute, so we do. Yeah. So we're building up relationships with other waste management companies across UK, so we can work with them, and we can, um, we can be like a one-stop shop really. So it don't matter where you're working in UK, we can source your waste management needs and sort it for you all in one place.
Brilliant. So KCM are taking over the UK.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
Brilliant. So, if people want to learn more about waste management or how they could get involved or what job opportunities, etc., are there, what's the best avenue for them to get involved? Is there obviously do you obviously advertise jobs on your website, etc., or is it in the normal advertising roles like the Indeeds, etc.?
Yeah, no, we do have we're there's usually always a job going what somewhere along line in
Yeah.
one at department somewhere along line because we're growing constantly. There's always it's very rare that we're not looking for somebody to do something somewhere. But yeah, there's always CVs on us. Sorry, job posts on his website. There's always we use social media, that kind of thing, to put jobs out there. But yeah, there's an email address for people to send the CVs to. So somebody approaches us and they seem like, oh, they could bring something to the table.
Hmm.
There's somebody constantly reviewing CVs that get sent in.
Brilliant. So it's yeah, you're always expanding and exploring new avenues and looking for that next person that could expand the
Yeah,
team even further and what
that's
they could
right.
bring.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's it.
Brilliant. So I will reach out to your office and get all those links for your website and your social media platforms and stuff, and make
Yeah.
sure that I pop those into the show notes. And then, are you on any social media like LinkedIn or anything? If
Yeah,
anyone's got any questions for you, I'll
yeah,
direct.
yeah.
I'll
I am
pop
on
that in.
LinkedIn. Yeah,
Perfect. I'll pop
yeah,
that in as well, and then if anyone's got some direct questions that they might want to ask you, at least they've got an avenue to possibly come straight over to you.
yeah.
Is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't asked you that you'd want to share?
No, I don't think so. No, not really. I
We
don't
think we've
think
covered
so.
everything.
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Well, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know it's very busy, and I know before we hit record, you was on the phone sorting out a skip. So
Yeah.
it's I can imagine that it's a very busy day, and you're always juggling a lot of things. So thank you very much. So yes, and we will see you all on the next one, guys. And yes, thank you, Emma, and I've enjoyed the rest of
Thank
the day.
you. Thanks.